you mind if we do a brief chess lesson? Promise it'll only take about 5 minutes or so. So today I want to talk a little bit about chess, chess for economic and political change. So D4, D5, C4. Now this is the Queen's Gambit opening. The Queen's Gambit is one of the oldest chess openings there is. It was started in the late 13th century, and this opening is so important to me because it's a sacrifice. Black has the ability to take that pawn on c4. Now, traditionally, Black doesn't do that. Black plays e6. So for chess critics, when I say I want that pawn to take on c4, they get mad at me. But today, I want us to think about what happens when that pawn does take on c4. So when I first started to play chess at the age of 4, sacrifices like this, and most sacrifices for that matter, were not encouraged. They would tell you to shoot for the center. Don't get your queen out too early. Be safe and develop. Now, all of those things I still do tell my students to do, but I encourage them to look for opportunities. I encourage them to take hold of those sacrifices. And one way I do that is I ask them to think 5 to 10 moves ahead. And that's what we're going to do today with that pawn move to c4. Now, there's a saying in the chess world that chess is easy to learn, but it's hard to master. Now, as a Pittsburgh native, you can imagine how much I disagree with this statement. I'm from the City of Champions. Nothing is hard to master. But I want you to think about this in a different sense. For chess educators like me, chess isn't hard to master. When we think about chess, everyone talks about the educational benefits of the game, and I can agree with you. There's so many educational benefits, but there's so much more to chess that we don't talk about, and that's why I'm here today. So let's continue our chess game. Our opponent played e3. Now, you guys have to trust me, we're going to play b5. So I run a nonprofit organization, and we go out and we teach chess to the community. And one of the stories that I want to tell you all today is about a little boy that I met when I was playing chess. So I want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine 14-year-old me. So I'm 18 now. I'm 14. And I want you to imagine a little boy, and he's 9 years old. Okay, and I want you to think about, it was a warm afternoon, and I remember our pieces were sticky. We were playing on a wooden chessboard, and that's something I thoroughly remember. So pretend the pieces had honey on them or something. And I want you to think about this. So anytime I play chess with my students, I ask them, what do you want to do when you grow up? And my student was like, I really, really want to do this and that. And he was telling me about all these amazing things he wanted to do. And I said, that's incredible. How are you going to make it happen? And you know what he said? He said, I don't know. And for me, I don't like the term I don't know, because again, it limits us. Just like when we don't take hold of sacrifices, it limits us. So a few weeks later, I asked my student how he was going to make this happen. And something incredible just happened. So if you weren't closing your eyes before, close them right now, because this is something. He came up to me and he said, Miss Ashley, these are the policies that need to be put in place to help my family. This is the type of job I need to get my family out of debt. Now, some background on this student. He had a hard childhood, to put it nicely. He grew up in an abusive household. His parents were separated, and often he would go to school. He wouldn't go to school, he would go to work to help take care of his family. Now, a 9-year-old said policies. When I say that, people don't believe me. He said that. He used chess to come up with different policies to help his family. He saw it as this metaphor for his life. And that's incredible. And the opening he showed me to make that happen was the Queen's Gambit. That's what we all just went over right now. And he's the one that told me to take that sacrifice. He said, part of my plan is to take that pawn on c4, because if I take that pawn on c4, this is what's going to happen. This is how I'm going to help my family. Now, for those of you that play chess, for those of you who don't, I want you to just remember that this student was having a discussion with me that politicians have on a daily basis. And that's incredible. And it was all because of chess. It was the strategy that chess had. It's rehearsing for life. It is a small world. And that's really, really incredible. And one thing I want to end with is, right now my student he's very successful. He's still in high school. And when I was talking with him the other day, and I was telling him I was going to tell this story, he's like, tell them that any time when they play chess, when they play the Queen's Gambit, they must take that pawn on c4. Thank you.